Tonight's expedition is not for the faint of heart. It will demand an open mind and a willingness to entertain the impossible. We will delve into forbidden territories, exploring artifacts that should not exist, linking distant civilizations through threads of gold and whispers of ancient deities. The Anunnaki, beings from the stars, casting long shadows over our understanding of humanity's origins and destiny. We will suggest the unimaginable. Brace yourself for a journey that stretches from Mesopotamia to the caves of Ecuador. Here, we will re-examine the story of Jesus Christ himself, not just as a cornerstone of faith, but as a pivotal figure entwined with beings from beyond our world. Serpent symbolism emerges, weaving through the corridors of time, suggesting a deeper, perhaps cosmic significance. These serpentine threads weave a tapestry of hidden connections, hinting at a truth far more complex and profound than ever imagined. Tonight we uncover not just secrets, but a narrative so profound, it might just redefine the saga of human civilization. Welcome to the Anunnaki Connection. The Nag Hammadi Library. Long-lost texts that whisper ancient secrets of forgotten gospels. This collection of 13 ancient books, called codices, containing over 50 texts, was discovered in Upper Egypt in 1945. Within these lies a creation story that veers into the shadows, where the divine spark is more than just metaphorical, and the cosmos dances to the tune of beings beyond our understanding. In the beginning, there was the Pleroma, a realm of supreme divinity, where entities known as aeons resided in perfect harmony. Among these was Sophia, the embodiment of wisdom, who in a moment of passion or perhaps hubris, brought forth an entity without her divine counterpart's consent. This entity, known as the Demiurge, ignorant of its origins, fashioned the material world, and with it, the Archons, cosmic wardens who oversee this lesser creation. In the Gnostic reinterpretation of familiar tales, texts like the Gospel of Judas and the Apocryphon of John challenge the very foundation of traditional narratives. Judas, often vilified, is portrayed as the one who understood the true mission of Jesus, aiding in liberating the divine spark within him from the confines of the material realm, governed by the Demiurge and his Archons. Sophia, in her quest for redemption, weaves through these tales, her lament for the unintended consequences of her actions a recurring motif. In her essence, we find the Gnostic yearning for a return to the fullness of the Pleroma, a journey of the soul's awakening from the slumber imposed by the material world and its rulers. In the ancient texts of Sumer, the Anunnaki, deities shaping the cradle of civilization, bear an uncanny resemblance to the archons of Gnostic tradition. These celestial beings also meddled in the affairs of humanity, granting knowledge and laying the groundwork for societies, yet always with their agenda, a parallel to the Gnostic narrative of enlightenment and enslavement. And so we are left to ponder the echoes of these ancient texts, where the lines between myth and reality blur, and the quest for knowledge becomes a journey of the soul. The Anunnaki's mastery over genetics is revealed in a tale of divine intervention, where celestial agents intervened in the very lineage of Jesus. In our cosmic story, prophets and messiahs are but roles assigned by the Anunnaki to ensure the completion of their grand design. It is a commonly accepted fact that key chapters of Jesus' life chronicled in the Apocrypha were deliberately obscured from the canonical texts of the Bible. This act of selective storytelling by Emperor Constantine paints a picture of a history tailored to suit the narrative approved by the divine playwrights. These divine machinations hint at a truth far stranger than fiction. The biblical gods, known to the Sumerians as the Anunnaki, others, the fallen angels, are revealed to have meddled in the very essence of human creation, blending their celestial DNA with ours in acts that defy the natural order, creating figures like the Virgin Mary and Jesus Christ. Ancient Sumerian texts reveal a complex tapestry of interconnected deities with different identities. Yahweh is equated with Enlil, while the figure of Lucifer is identified as Ningishzida, also known as Jesus. This deity, synonymous with the Egyptian Thoth, famed for constructing the Great Pyramids, was expelled from Egypt by his sibling Ra, or Marduk, leading to his emergence as Quetzalcoatl and Kukulkan within Mayan and Aztec traditions, before manifesting as Hermes, and subsequently, Jesus Christ. Ningishzida, symbolized by the serpent, emerges as a purveyor of truth and enlightenment, a role mirrored by Lucifer and other deities mentioned. The New Testament depicts Satan as manipulating these narratives, with Yahweh's Old Testament portrayal highlighting a lack of human empathy. In this celestial conflict, Lucifer champions human autonomy, but Archangel Michael, aligned with Ra, Marduk, ultimately dictates history. And so we are drawn back to the Emerald Tablets, where Thoth, or Jesus, in his many incarnations, speaks of a life unbound by mortal coils, an existence that stretches across the eons, learning, evolving, and retaining the wisdom of countless lifetimes. Yeshua, often referred to as Jesus Christ in the Western world, his life, teachings, and enduring influence have deeply impacted the spiritual, cultural, and ethical landscapes of many communities. However, recent scholars' work hint at a far more complex and nuanced understanding of this iconic figure. The tale of Yeshua's origins is captivating and epic, blending elements of ancient mythology and what might seem like science fiction. Portrayed as a hybrid with connections to the Anunnaki, he is said to have embarked on a mission to elevate human consciousness. His mission was deeply connected with the esoteric wisdom of lost civilizations and the influence of beings from beyond our world. Beings traditionally seen as divine, such as the angel Gabriel, were actually advanced extraterrestrial entities. The story of Yeshua's formative years took him across the mystical lands of Egypt to the sacred traditions of India and Tibet. These were not mere travels, but profound initiations that deepened his spiritual insights and readied him for the monumental challenges ahead. One of the most captivating chapters involves his experiences in the Egyptian mystery schools. Here he faced rigorous spiritual and physical challenges reminiscent of the trials faced by mythical heroes, emerging fully realized. Yeshua's life and teachings also unfold against the backdrop of Judea under Roman rule. His radical ideas posed a threat to the oppressive societal structures of his time, leading to his crucifixion. A powerful symbol of his enduring legacy. Discovered in the 1970s in Egypt, the Gospel of Judas was not made public until 2006, after extensive restoration and translation efforts. The text is part of a collection of Gnostic writings, which present a wildly different perspective on the teachings and events of Jesus' life. Imagine a secret conversation between Judas and Jesus, where Judas steps forth not with a kiss of death, but with a declaration of recognition. Judas said to him, "Jesus, I know who you are and where you have come from. You are from the immortal realm of Barbello, and I am not worthy to utter the name of the one who has sent you." This cryptic reference, Barbello, might trace its roots back to the tongues of Aramaic or Akkadian civilizations. Bar, in the language of ancient Aramaic, signifies son or son of. Thus, Barbello whispers hints of divinity, possibly alluding to Son of God or Son of the Gods. The sacred Hebrew texts are replete with over 2,600 mentions of these celestial beings. For Judas, his deity of allegiance was Jehovah, or Yahweh, the deity of warfare. standing in stark opposition to Baal, the Lord, but not the Lord, as in Jehovah. The name Baal, a title reverberating through the annals of time, morphs into Bel, Belos, or Belus, all paths leading to the mighty Jupiter, known to some as Zeus. Baal's essence is intertwined with ancient monikers like Babel, Babylon, or Babalu, a gateway to the divine. Jupiter's association with Marduk Belu, due to its astrological significance to Marduk, draws us into a celestial dance of names and titles. Belu, heralding the great Lord, circles us back to the enigmatic Barbelo, son of the great Lord, perhaps son of Marduk. In this tapestry of names and divine connections, the narrative of Judas and Jesus weaves a complex pattern, inviting us to ponder the intricate web of spirituality and cosmic lineage that spans across cultures and eons, echoing in the silent spaces of our collective consciousness. According to a Gnostic text called The Reality of the Rulers, the archons have bodies that are both female and male, and faces that are the faces of beasts. Thus, they're not truly male nor female nor human nor animal. The ancients found this kind of boundary crossing to be deeply threatening, and this description of the archons implied that they were forces of chaos, so mixed up as to be the farthest that a created being could be from God. Because the archons had created humans in the first place, they had created humans to be extremely susceptible to their influence and to be almost unable to resist it. Only the divine spark from heaven, which had slipped into creation despite the archons' intentions, gave people any kind of a chance of resisting the archons' temptations. But only a few, the Gnostics, were even aware of that divine presence within themselves. And even for them, it was a tremendous ordeal to act in accordance with that presence rather than the wishes of the archons. Most people were just the puppets of the archons. Thus, the normal, default state of humans was literal demonic possession. The number of archons varies across the Gnostic texts, but there are commonly said to be 7 archons, whose identities and names vary as well. These 7 corresponded to the 7 planets that had been identified in antiquity, whose movements were credited with producing astrological fate. Strangely, we see correlation with the Anunnaki and the 7 great gods of Sumerian texts. Father Carlos Crespi Croce was born in Milan, Italy in 1891 and died in 1982. He was a Salesian monk who dedicated his life to worship and charity and lived in the small town of Cuenca in Ecuador for more than 50 years. A man of many talents, he had been an educator, botanist, anthropologist, musician, and above all, humanitarian. Because of his missionary work, he became close to the indigenous people of Ecuador and was a highly respected person among the tribes, who considered him a true friend of theirs. The indigenous people gave Father Crespi gifts of ancient artifacts to thank him for the work he was doing to help them. They said the items brought to him had been found in subterranean tunnels in the jungles of Ecuador, spanning more than 200 kilometers, starting from the village of Cuenca. The amazing artifacts given to him had uncanny similarities with civilizations of the East and were enough to fill up a large museum. Father Crespi was trusted by the Vatican to open a museum in the Salesian school at Cuenca, and up until 1960 it was the largest museum in Ecuador. However, Crespi suggested that there was an obvious connection between the artifacts and the ancient civilizations of Babylon and Sumeria. What he did not consider is that such a suggestion would go against mainstream opinions. A short time later, the museum was burnt down and most of the artifacts were destroyed, with the exception of a few that he